The New York Jets have placed the franchise tag on running back Breece Hall, and this is a big decision for the New York Jets front office. In today's video, I'm going to be giving my breakdown and thoughts on the Breece Hall franchise tag for the New York Jets in this upcoming 2026 season. So, without further ado, hey Jet fans, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we were going to be discussing Breece Hall getting franchise tagged by the New York Jets for the upcoming 2026 NFL season. My immediate reaction to this is that I think this is the right move for the New York Jets. Hall is, Breece Hall, he is the backbone of this offense. I'm just going to get straight into this. Point blank period. Breece Hall is the backbone of the New York Jets offense. He's still one of the better running backs in the NFL, and letting him walk, in my opinion, the New York Jets, if they let him walk, would have created a massive hole for this New York Jets offense. Because really, the Jets offense has no identity. Garrett Wilson was out for 10 games last season. He only played 7 games last season. So nobody really had to worry about the receiving core last season. Everybody's focus was on Breece Hall. The offense practically ran around Breece Hall, whether if he was in the rushing attack or the receiving attack, because Breece Hall is still one of the best receiving backs in the NFL. So letting him walk, in my opinion, if the New York Jets let him walk, that would have created a massive hole. A massive, massive hole for Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn. Because quite frankly, when the Jets offense is at its best, Breece Hall is involved. We've seen it time and time again, whether that be the rushing game or the receiving game. Whenever the Jets offense is playing its best, Breece Hall is always involved with that. And Hall is not just a runner, right? He's explosive, he's a receiving threat, and he dictates defensive looks for opposing teams, right? Tagging him keeps stability in a year where you don't want more offensive uncertainty on this team. The Jets already have enough problems as it is. You have quarterback, receiver, interior O-line, right? They already have a lot of things they need to deal with already. So why not just bring the guy back that you already have in your grasp in Breece Hall, right? Now let's talk about why this move makes sense from a football standpoint for the Jets and Breece Hall. With Frank Reich coming in here as the new Jets offensive coordinator, again, I don't really agree with the hiring, but it is what it is. You have to think that if Reich wants to build the best offense possible, you got to bring your best offensive guy back. The Jets are probably going to want to build this offense around balance. I think they're going to get a receiver or two in the NFL draft. They might get a quarterback in this upcoming draft. And if they're going to have a young offense, they need to balance it out. They cannot force it onto one position. So with Breece Hall still being the backbone of it, him being implemented into the receiving game and the running game, whether that be play action, check downs, explosive run plays, that all flows through Breece Hall. So if he's involved with that, with this young New York Jets offense, that helps them greatly. That greatly helps this New York Jets offense. He forces, with Breece Hall in the field, he can force safeties into the box, and he can open up the passing game. If the New York Jets are going to get a couple of receivers to have breathing room for him, I think that would be great for the Jets offense as well. And despite being nearly 25 years old, despite being a little over the average for a running back's lifespan in the NFL, which is around 3 years for a running back in the NFL, and despite his injury history, tearing his ACL in his rookie season against the Denver Broncos and having a few knee issues throughout the course of his NFL career, his production is still there. He's still very explosive. He still commands defensive attention, and he is still one of the most dynamic players on the entire roster for the New York Jets, right? And if the Jets were to just let him walk, because, by the way, Darren Muji had all the power to just let Breece Hall walk. He didn't have to place the tag on him. If you were to let Breece Hall walk and try to find a new running back, I think that would have been the wrong move. Because, quite frankly, elite running backs are rare to find in today's NFL, like really, really rare. What other running backs can you say are elite in the NFL besides Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, and a few other guys that I may have not mentioned? There's really, it might be no one. I'm not saying Breece is elite, but he is one of those guys that you can always trust 100% when he's on the field. He improved so much last season. I said it last season on this show, I believe, and the Next Gen Jets show that I host with Connor Long, Chris Grosso, and Josh Wolliver, that his vision was a bit of a problem for the first few years of his career, but he did turn that around. He did turn that around this past season. And the Jets are trying to compete, right? Point blank, period. The Jets are trying to compete, not reset. Rebuilding is completely different from reset, right? Reset is scrap everything, tear it all down, clear house, completely new roster. We could see the Jets did fire the majority of their coaches, right? But they didn't trade everybody. They're not trying to build a whole new roster. They're trying to build off of this roster. They're not scraping everybody, right? They're probably going to sign AVT this offseason, I would assume. The offensive line, of course, staying. Not sure if they're going to resign John Simpson. They're, of course, still letting Garrett Wilson play on his extension. They're not trading him. They're still going to let Jamie Sherwood play on his deal despite having a down year. They're not trading him. He's not going anywhere. So, I mean, this isn't just about football, right? It's about timing and money too, right? For example, short-term control. This tag, that they placed on Breece Hall, it gives the Jets one more year without committing long-term money yet, right? They can evaluate health, production, and offensive direction by giving Breece Hall the tag, and it gives them more time as well to come up with a new deal for Breece Hall, which is probably going to be around a 3-year, $36 million deal, $33 million deal, somewhere around that. If he balls out, you extend him. If he doesn't, let him walk in free agency, right? So this year's a good opportunity for Breece Hall to really take that to heart and really play his best that he can, right? And look, and again, I'm not saying Breece Hall is elite in the NFL. He's great. I think he's still a great running back. But again, he's not Saquon Barkley. He's not Derrick Henry. He's not Jonathan Taylor, right? He's not those guys. I'm sorry. I hate to say this about him, but he is not one of those guys, unfortunately, right? So he, like I said a couple minutes ago, throughout the majority of his career, he has had pretty skeptical vision, right? He has had issues, whether that be injuries or vision. So though there are some things still lingering here and there with him. And, quite frankly, those are some things that Breece Hall has struggled with without his career, and with still being a great running back in the NFL. That just shows how he's able to adapt very well in this league, right? And I want to focus on the counter argument now. If people are against this, right? It's running backs aren't. With people saying running backs aren't worth big money, you can draft one in the 3rd round. He's had injury history. Sure, yes, those things are for the most part true in today's NFL. However, not all running backs are Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall, despite not being the best running back in the NFL, I think he's one of the best serviceable starting running backs you can have on a roster, right? He may not be the Saquon Barkley, he may not be a Jonathan Taylor, but he could sure as hell be a leader of men. He could be a leader on this offense. He can be a great productor on this offense, as you can see on the video that I have on the screen here. Elite offensive weapons matter. We've seen Breece Hall, like I said, being a very good threat in the receiving ability, and windows to compete are short, right? The Jets just can't start over at running back. A lot of people are open to drafting Jeremiah Love. I'm not drafting this guy at number 2. I'm sorry. I think he's great. I think he's going to go in the top 10. He's the best running back in this draft class, no doubt. But am I putting my trust in a guy who, am I putting my trust in a guy enough to pick him 2nd overall in the NFL draft over positions that are much rather needed, by the way, such as edge, such as quarterback, such as wide receiver, such as interior defensive line, such as interior offensive line, such as defensive back, etc.? Right? I'm not putting my trust in a guy, or I trust Jeremiah Love. I do. However, I'm not taking a chance at drafting a running back at number 2. I think that's almost asinine in today's NFL. Right? Look how the Giants did with Saquon Barkley. They could have drafted a franchise quarterback in Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or Sam Darnold. But they had to go with Saquon Barkley. Sure, was he great his first year in the NFL, his first couple years in the NFL? He was awesome, a top 10 running back. But look, he was only there for 6 seasons. It did not end well with Saquon Barkley. He was out of there, and now he's the best his career, and now he's doing the best, and he's putting on the best work of his entire career with Giants' rival Philadelphia Eagles, right? So I think the Jets, 1, have way too many positions to worry about other than running back. 2, I think it's a very bold move and a very risky move to draft an unproven running back Of course, he's unproven. He's never stepped on NFL field. I don't know what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, I don't think, and I think it's a risky move drafting a running back at number 2. I think it is. I really think it is. You know, the big, as we're getting close to the end of this video, I just want to go over the big picture and the big impact for 2026 with him getting tagged. What this means for the offense, right? You still have your backbone of the offense. You still have a good receiving threat for defenses in Breece Hall. I wouldn't say the Jets are pushing to win now. I would say this franchise tag was mainly just to, you know, have some more time to restructure a deal, which is what I'm totally fine with. And I think this does calm the locker room. I think this stabilizes the locker room enough to know that they still have their guy, arguably their best offensive guy on the entire roster in Breece Hall. He's definitely one of them, arguably top 2, right? So, you know, this was the right move. To end off the video, you know, this was the right moves. This was the right move. It keeps the offense stable. It keeps a premier weapon in the green and white. And now the pressure shifts to the rest of the roster, such as edge, such as interior O-line, such as interior D-line, such as receiver, such as quarterback, such as safety, etc. Right? And do you guys think the Jets made a right decision in tagging Breece Hall? Should they extend him sooner rather than later? Let me know in the comments below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you like more Jets content like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button. We come out with new videos all the time, multiple videos a week. I'm Jack Talks Jets. This is my Instagram, and that is my Twitter account. You can follow them both at Jack Talks Jets on both of them. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out, Jet fans.